Game is throned.
The game is throned, McLeod. The game is throned, McLeod. It's the White Walkers, you fool.
We are not going to panic.
What the heck even happened to you, man?
Vengeance.
Shrimp Daddy! Ha 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 ha!
Give him a hockey stick!
What am I, fucking magician, man?
Am I some kind of fucking magician, man?
Fucking nerd.
Fucking nerd! Whatever. It's not like we're professionals anyway.
And I'm not sorry anymore.
Time to big brain.
Every day, yes.
What is the airwolf of trains?
Welcome to episode 148 of the Lasercomb Podcast. Your favorite podcast where two dudes comb through classic television with a fine-tooth Lazor. I am one of your hosts, NeoCal.
And I am your other host, Siege Thorn Coldblood.
Siege Thorn Coldblood. And I'm Cal Snow.
It works. We're both men of the North.
That's right. But I didn't get to adopt my father's last name, so I'm just a Snow.
Nor did you get to adopt a cute little direwolf puppy.
I wish.
I'm not a dog person, but those pups were fucking adorable.
Yeah, how could you not adopt them? Should have just picked them up and been like, come on. The reason we're talking about dire pups, that's a funny word to say. Not dire wolf pups, dire pups. Is because
pups. Dire pups in the night.
I would watch that. Dire pups in the night. Dire pups, they can fight.
Dire pups, full of fright.
And it comes on after Gargoyles.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we're watching Game of Thrones.
Winter is coming, and dark things will come with it.
Everyone who isn't us is an enemy.
I know they did it. In my bones, I know it.
You killed me. Your brother's a dead man. You might not have my name. You have my blood.
Stop this madness in the name of your king!
When winter does come, gods help us all if we're not ready.
What do you know about fear? Fear is for the winter, when the snows fall 100 feet deep. Fear is for the long night, when the white walkers move through the woods. When children are born and live and die, all in darkness. That is the time for fear, my lord.
On our January block of programming.
Yes, our January.
That's right.
The name I settled on for this programming block is Peak 2010s.
Peak 2010s. And brand new year, first month of the year. So we're going with first episodes.
That's right.
Of the first seasons.
For this programming block only, we're doing things a little different. Instead of what we normally do around here is we cover random episodes of a different TV show each week. Last week, next week, and the week after, we're going to be covering the first episode of Peak TV of the 2010s. Very iconic, binge-worthy shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're old enough now where Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead qualify for the Lasercomb Podcast. I never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. Game of Thrones is in the past. Walking Dead we reviewed last week.
Well, Walking Dead was still going when we started this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones at least had the good sense to end itself by then.
That's right. It
Yeah.
it and end itself. It did.
Oh boy, did it. I didn't hate the end of Game of Thrones as much as everyone did, but it
I
was
liked memeing about how bad it was, but like I saw the
it was
I
definitely
saw it
rushed.
coming.
They
I
they
saw it
def
coming too.
they raced to the finish for that
They
last
did.
season.
They were like, we need to move on to bigger and better paychecks.
Yes, they're like, come on, we gotta get this Game of Thrones bullshit over with because Disney is gonna throw us all this money to make this Star Wars trilogy of movies.
And then they made the best Star Wars movies ever.
That still haven't fucking happened.
Any day now.
And
Any day now.
it has now been 7 years since they inked
What?
that deal with Disney to produce their
They
own Star Wars
ran
trilogy.
away from Game of Thrones as fast as they possibly fucking could. I can't remember their names. We're ready for this is how we do things here. We do it on the fly.
Off the cuff.
David Benioff and DB Weiss.
David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Michael Spotnick, David Nutter, Alan Taylor, Mike Mylod, and Jeremy Padewa helmed also significant installments.
But it was Benioff and Weiss. It was
Yeah.
very much. It was their show. They're credited.
It was
as the
essentially
creators.
the
They're credited as the creators of the show.
it comes or goes with their passion, and was very so much so, alarmingly so, that it felt like the last two seasons were not even done by them. But I mean, when Disney comes knocking and they say, "You guys want to be billionaires?" and they're like, "Ooh boy," and they're like, "Can you guys make bad Star Wars stuff?" And they were like, "Hard not to," and they were like, "All right, let's get out of here." What's that? We have like 3-4 more seasons of Game of Thrones. We can let's just
Let's just wrap it up in the next
up.
one.
Just wrap it up, yeah.
And HBO is like, oh, thank God. Have you seen the contracts that were? You seen the actors' contracts we're paying out at this
We're
point?
bleeding money. We're hemorrhaging money here.
So, what's your relationship with Game of Thrones?
So my relationship with Game of Thrones was I never even heard of the books, and then all my white friends pretended that they were and coworkers pretended they were big fans, always big fans of the books.
Yeah.
And then went out and bought they just didn't have the books like on them, but they went out and bought the books, and some of them shamelessly, you know how like you can buy a Lord of the Rings like novel, but like it has like pictures of the movie on the like the cover and like in the chapters.
Yeah,
a lot of them had
that's
that.
really common when adaptations of books come out.
Yeah. So a lot of them pretended, and they were just rereading A Song of Ice and Fire. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me know how that is. And I can tell you, I tried to give it the old read. And that's a different review show. But my relationship with the TV show was, hey, finally something like good on. And in fact,
George R.R. Martin's writing made a lot more sense to me after I read Dune.
I'm sorry. You actually read Dune?
I read Dune, yeah.
I don't even think you need to expand on that yet.
Yeah.
You're like, his writing makes more sense after I've read Dune.
Yeah.
A challenge to anybody younger than 45. Read Dune.
That's right.
You'll get $5 whole from me if you can. Don't worry. I've read the beginning third of Dune 7 times. There's a dryness to old fantasy and particularly sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But as for the TV show Game of Thrones, it got to the point where people would throw like premiere, like in costume like parties.
I remember that, yeah.
We
never got quite that far, but we did have watch parties. It was usually like me and my wife, like one of my friends, a couple of her friends. There was usually like 5 or 6 of us.
And we'd turn them into drinking games. Like if someone says winter is coming, if someone says bastard,
Oh, that's fun.
yeah.
Someone says Jon Snow.
If someone says you know nothing, Jon Snow,
Mm.
because you can't, because everyone says Jon Snow all the time, but you know nothing, Jon Snow. That's a shot.
Yeah, fair enough.
Every time boobs
Every
in a
time.
new scene, not every shot where there's boobs, because then you'd be plastered in the first like 15 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
I want you to remember how many titties there were in this, because when we get to some other
5
shows in this
different
program,
sets.
when we get to, I want to expand on that more, discussing that the topic of tiggle bitties on screen. I want to discuss that more when we get into later shows that we cover in this programming block, because
Okay.
it was a trend at this time, and I think Game of Thrones is what kicked it off.
Oh, so Game of Thrones is to thank for having big old titty. I said it the right way. I meant to say tiggle bitties.
Tiggle bitties.
um, on the screen.
My
What's
relationship
your
with Game of
relationship outside the
Thrones.
watching party?
My relationship with Game of Thrones was I knew nothing about the books. I had never heard of them.
Same.
Never pretended that I did afterward.
Bonus points. Same.
Unlike all of your other friends, apparently.
Mostly coworkers, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd never heard of the books. I knew that the show was coming. I knew Game of Thrones is coming. Because I've always, since I was a teenager, as soon as I discovered the internet and discovered like entertainment news websites, I was locked into that shit. So I knew Game of Thrones was. I had known about it for several months leading up to the premiere, and I was actually pretty stoked for it.
Yeah.
And I watched it on the day it originally aired, which was April 17th of 2011.
Almost 15 years ago.
Me and my girlfriend at the time watched it together and then broke up 3 days later.
Because
Coincidence?
of quit. I don't think so.
Fun little factoid there.
Suspicious.
And keep in mind when I say that I watched the first episode on release date, because that's going to come up again when we... I'll expand on that a little further when we... later on when we say whether we're going to tune in again next week or not.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
There's a little bit of a tease there, but I'll explain all that later on.
All right. Well,
not too long after that, after me and that partner broke up, I met the woman who I would eventually marry, and this was season 2 was. This was when season 2 was about to premiere, and she was a huge fan of. She was a huge fan of Game of Thrones, and so we had, and so we had actually binged season 1 in the lead up to season 2, and then
I feel like I've binged,
and then for the next
previous season multiple times,
and then for the next couple seasons we had watch parties with friends, as I mentioned.
I should put pictures of me at these parties as the different characters I've gone as up on the Discord.
You should. A Discord you can join by clicking the link in the description. I just started watching House of the Dragon recently. And by recently, I mean like 2 nights ago. Because in the lead up, I was thinking about this show a lot in the days leading up to today, us actually watching and reviewing it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to resubscribe to Crave, which, for American listeners, Crave is a Canadian streaming service where most of the HBO content ends up, because we do not have HBO Max here.
That's right.
I was like, I'm gonna have to resubscribe to Crave to watch to rewatch the first episode of Game of Thrones for the podcast. Anyway, I should give House of the Dragon a shot finally.
Fair, fair.
And I'm 3 episodes in now, and it's all right
It's all right.
so far. Uses the same theme
Um,
song, which is pretty cool because
Oh,
that theme song's epic.
it really is. Before we started recording, I sent Siege the South Park rendition of the theme song.
Yeah, yes, I watched and listened to that and had a good chuckle. I would insert it into this episode, but I'd probably get a copyright strike from Paramount for it.
Even though it's just about wieners.
Oh yeah, but it's still scenes from South Park though.
Fair, fair. Oh, my allergies make me yawn and eyes watery, so apologies.
You, you no, you're just choked up over
I'm
how
choked
much
up
over how
over
much you
how much I
enjoyed
love.
Game of
That's right.
Thrones. And you're so bored. You're yawning because you're so bored sitting here talking about it because you'd
Instead
rather
of watching it.
instead of watching it.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it, right?
That's right. I'm yawning because I'm bored not watching Game of Thrones, and my eyes are watery because I'm so choked up thinking about how much I love Game of Thrones. So
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into breaking the episode down.
Attacking evil with the swiftness of an arrow. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
With our battle wagon, we'll storm the evil sheriff of Nottingham's castle. I see him! Launch catapult!
No one gets in here.
Ram the door!
You put the wagon together. Figures sold separately.
Prepare for battle!
You're no match for my dark warrior.
Down you go. Castle not included.
Friar Tuck, look out! Now for you, sheriff!
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
So today on the Lasercomb podcast, we are talking about episode 1 of Game of Thrones, Winter is Coming, which, as mentioned, aired on April 17th of 2011. So the episode opens with a fucking kick-ass black metal music video.
yeah, kinda actually.
Okay, I've been saving that one because when I watched this episode last night, is when I thought of that line. I'm like, oh wow, this episode opens with a kick-ass black metal video.
So for people unaware of the meme, hey, let's put on makeup and leather and go shoot a video in the woods.
Better if there's snow.
Well, yeah, obviously better if there's snow. The metal opening to Game of Thrones is dudes dressed in leather, all black. Extra bonus points if there's horses.
Yeah.
Swords.
They're out in the snowy forest and corpses everywhere. I really like just put the
zombies.
Just put some like a black metal instrumental in the background and put these guys
make like quick edits.
Make a quick edit, put them in corpse paint.
Well, there are corpses, but there's no corpse paint.
Mm-hmm.
Now maybe it's because it's the first.
For those of you out there who are not familiar with black metal, corpse paint, think Crow makeup, think Sting makeup, but messier. Yeah, but messier.
But like less. But yeah. Kiss meets Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's white face paint with like black around the eyes and on the lips. A lot of the times it looks like it's running down their face, like
or
blood.
Cracked, or yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got people talking about the wall. It's quite interesting going into it and rewatching from the beginning because of how much more the viewer knows going in and watching it all, like knowing about like.
This was my first time watching this episode since like 2012. So it's been a good like 14 years since I'd seen this episode of Game of Thrones.
It's been a while.
I didn't remember fucking anything about
but
it.
you know what about like the Watch, and you know about the
But
Wall
I know
and
what's
the
going on, and I
deserters.
know who all the people are.
Yeah,
But in terms of what actually happens in the episode, I didn't remember anything except the kid getting pushed out the window at the end.
I remembered that and a guy getting his head cut off. Oh, and like Rob coming to the north and like the
Right.
king coming to the north. That's it. But
Robert
yeah, there
the
was a bunch of
Ruffian.
stuff that caught me. Oh, and the Dothraki, yeah. And the super creepy older brother of the Targaryen siblings that are in Essos on the other side of the narrow sea.
Right, right.
Aegon,
And Amelia Clark naked.
naked. There's a few people naked. So what do they find? They find a whole bunch of dead people,
A whole bunch
women
of
and
like
children,
dismembered, rotting corpses,
but they're
including children.
wildlings.
Yeah.
So when one guy who's scouting ahead because he sees smoke, sees it, and tells the others, "Holy shit! I just saw some shit. We need to go back."
Because they're out there looking for wildlings, I believe.
But it's like, so wildlings are barbarians that live outside of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, they live north of the
up
wall.
up in the north. Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Yep, the wall, big ass like wall of ice protecting.
It's a big ass wall of ice with some castle parts in it, or under it, or they were made before the wall froze. Kind of hard to part, or it's made out of ice, or a little bit of both, because there are different towers.
I assumed they blasted and built into the wall.
Yeah, and it stood for so long, for thousands of years, to the point where like White Walkers, the snow undead of the series, are like almost a myth.
Ice revenants.
There we go.
Yeah, that's kind of what they are.
Yeah, that's song 1 on this album, Ice Revenant.
Real quick sidebar, speaking of song, in House of the Dragon, which unlike this show, House of the Dragon was actually co-developed by George R.R. Martin. Like he helped develop that show. So the vibe's a little different compared to Game of Thrones, not necessarily in a good way, but I'm assuming it's probably closer to the author's vision. But there is one line where someone actually is explaining, one character is explaining to another character, the myth of like, the winter coming and like the wall, like up north being like a line of defense against the great winter and yada, yada, yada. And he's like, oh, and blah, blah told this tale to be passed down to every great leader of the seven, everyone who sits on the Iron Throne. And he called it a song of ice and fire.
And then they turn to the camera and go.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, Georgie, you rascal.
Oh, you rascal. He should whoops, I'm knocking everything over. He should guest star as a Meister, which are like professional advisors from like they gatekeep higher education in the realm and then serve as advisors.
It's a Meister or Maester?
Maester.
Maester, yeah. Okay.
Maestor or ER, something like that. But basically, they're specially educated people from like.
The way that's spelled, it probably should be pronounced Meister, but I think they say Maester.
That's probably why I'm thinking of the subtitles rather than how it was actually pronounced. So what happens to these guys? Oh, and I recall this bugged me way back when I first watched it. When the scout runs back and he's like, holy shit, bodies. I don't think it's wildlings. We need to go. There's a one shitlord who seems to be in command of the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we're gonna go and investigate it, or what? Are you gonna pee your little pants, you little bitch, baby? You gonna suck a bottle? And so they go to investigate. And by the way, it's parts of people
Yeah, they're dismembered and they're
dismembered and put in like a
in like
sigil shape,
yeah.
like in like a circle with like a line down it
And
or
then
something
wouldn't you
like
know it,
that.
a big ice revenant shows up with glowing eyes and a sword and Let the Bodies Hit the Floor starts playing.
Yeah. Before that, when they go to the pit and there's nothing there, I'm like, how'd they clean up so well? There's like blood and bodies everywhere. And then it's like pristine snow. And it's like, oh, sounds like someone was bullshitting us. And he's like, no, the bodies were here, I swear. I'm like, these are the most tidy zombies I've ever seen. Now, did all of those people pull themselves together and become the zombies, or did the few White Walkers that were from the bodies that were whole, did they clean up all the body parts?
You know that really old Halloween cartoon with like the skeletons like falling apart and then coming back
Did they
together and then dancing?
reassemble?
That's what these
Yeah.
that's what
So
these
you're
body
saying
parts did.
they came together and magically animated. And the reason it's so clean and there's no parts is because all of them became White Walkers.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
And they started dancing.
And then they started dancing and cutting heads off. But they don't cut all of their heads off because they want one of them to spread the word. Really bad way to launch a sneak attack on the Seven Kingdoms, but
yeah, we don't find the scene kind of ends with like this one dude, like the other two guys dead and the one dude just like with a White Walker looming over him. We don't find out his fate right away. But
well, I can assume because one of his buddies' heads is cut off, and then the White Walker, the Ice Revenant, tosses the head at the other guy. So I viewed that as a kind of like, go and tell people that we are coming.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
Rather than just a sick move to intimidate someone before you kill them.
I mean,
also
probably what I would
cool.
do.
Yeah, so we've got different beats. There's that opening scene from the wall. Then there's the rad intro. Then there's Dothraki.
I don't dare put that theme song in the episode, unfortunately, because I feel like this episode would get copy struck into oblivion.
You'll have to accept us going, Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Sean Bean, Sean Bean, Sean.
Sean.
Lena Headey. Lena Headey.
You made a comment about her. You were like, hey, just saying, if she was my sister, I mean.
If she was my sister. I actually, before I had seen Game of Thrones, I knew who Lena Headey was because she played Sarah Connor in the Terminator TV show.
And she was...
And shortly after Game of Thrones premiered, she ended up being in the Dread movie. There's a few people in this show that I recognize. Obviously, Sean Bean. Peter Dinklage I had seen before in... what the fuck is the name of that comedy where it's like a funeral and he shows up?
Yeah.
There was an American remake of it. It was a British movie, but there was an American remake of it that was terrible. But Peter Dinklage also like played the same character in the American remake too. So I knew who Peter Dinklage was from that movie, whose name I'm drawing a blank on.
I knew who Lena Headey was just because I liked 300. I'm like, hey, is that Leonidas's queen?
Was she in 300?
She's his wife.
Oh, okay.
She's like Leonidas's wife.
And yeah, Sean Bean obviously is Sean Bean. Everybody knows who Sean Bean is.
I was wary.
Jason
when Sean
Momoa,
Bean showed up, I was like, better not get too attached.
He gonna die. And
anyone
Jason
unfamiliar, he dies in a lot of things.
I was familiar with Jason Momoa from Stargate Atlantis.
And I was familiar with. I was like, "Hey, Stargate Atlantis guy."
Yeah, it's Ronan Dex.
Yeah. And if it seems like we're silly mentioning these people, it's because boy howdy are they much bigger
Now than they were
now
then.
than they
Because of
were
Game of Thrones.
10 years ago. Yeah. 50, almost 15 years ago. Jesus. Because of Game of Thrones.
Sean Bean aside,
Sean Bean aside.
Sean Bean aside, the cast of this show were, I don't want to say nobodies.
Yeah, because they weren't.
Because they weren't. They were in things.
Like Lena Headey was an actress.
But like
but
they
like
weren't
not
they weren't household names.
Celebrity level household names. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's 4 to make it so we're not talking about the hour-long episode for an hour necessarily. There's 4 settings.
Well, we talked about The Walking Dead for an hour and a half last week.
That's fair. That was fun though. That often happens with reviews. But there's off in the east somewhere in another land, Essos or some such. There's the capital, King's Landing. And then there's Winterhome, the capital where Winterfell, thank you. Where the Starks reign over.
My favorite of the 7 kingdoms.
Mine as well.
I think probably most people's.
I can't even name the 7 kingdoms.
Yeah.
The North, the capital, Dorne, the Iron Islands, the Eyrie, the Riverlands.
Westeros is the entire continent.
The continent.
Yes.
Yeah. Bear Island? I don't. Oh no! And then the flower, wherever the flower people are, Pangea. The flower. Right. Whatever their province is called. But anyways, so somebody's dead. It looks like Hand of the King is dead. They got some interesting funeral rites. They never really expand on how the faith, like what the religions are, too much. They just let it be. And I think that's an interesting...
For the best, I think.
Yeah, and they just let it be. Oh, until that cult like comes up off in future seasons, right?
Oh, with the red woman? That cult?
Oh, that's one of the cults. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cult I remember because reasons.
I see. So what you're saying is you may offer yourself as sacrifice to the one true God.
Yes.
If it involves the red lady, the red witch.
Yes.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. What's going on here? We got a king. He's a big guy.
Also, Mommy Stark in the show.
Not bad. And then I don't know, like a million kids, where if you're just watching it, you're like, I can't pay attention. Who are all these ones? One of them likes to climb. One of them's a tomboy. And then there are the others.
And one of them is a gold digger.
Oh my God. Sansa. She ends up being one of the best. But let me tell you, she's kind of the worst.
Her character grows, but it seems
but
very...
Mummy, I've never wanted anything ever.
It seems very clear in this episode that Sansa just wants to be a princess and be rich and be important.
And she's 13.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, how old are you, Dove? She's like, I'm 13, my lady. So it's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
It's
but when she's talking to her mom and she's like, I never get anything and I want one thing. Why can't I be a princess now? And I'm like, oh, sweet summer child.
And there's talk of marrying her off to Robert Baratheon and
Bob, King Bob and Eddie are hanging out in the catacombs.
King Bob and Lena Headey. There's talk of joining their families by marrying Sansa off to their son Joffrey, who we only just see briefly in this episode.
Man, what a good actor. Because you see him and you're like, that guy looks like such a cunt.
as I'm
And
watching this,
kudos to the.
as I'm watching this, and Sansa is talking about like
He's so handsome.
I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna work out great for you, lady.
That's the thing. It's wild going back and watching this and being like, but just the way. By the way, I don't even think he has any lines.
No, he doesn't.
Joffrey. I think he just like smugly smiles and like sneers.
He just gives
Man.
her. He just sees Sansa and gives her like the. This is really like.
Hey girl.
Kudos to the actor. Fun fact.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I was agreeing with you there. Fun fact: he played Jim Gordon's son in Batman Begins.
Hell yeah, that's right. I can't remember when or how I like figured. I was watching it with like Anissa, or maybe it was you, or I can't remember, but it was like a couple years ago or something. I'm like, it's a kid that plays. That's Joffrey.
Mm-hmm. Wonder what he's up to nowadays. Maybe I'll look that up later.
Remember the fake stories that were going around about how he gave up acting because people were like spitting on him and swearing at him and like shoving him and stuff like that.
I mean, that seems plausible, honestly.
And like any good urban myth, it seems plausible, but like, no, most adults are aware that actors play characters. That, thankfully.
Well, the kid who played Anakin Skywalker had a horrendous childhood because he was bullied very badly for his performance in that movie.
By mostly adults, mind you.
And then he ended up having a bunch of mental health issues, and I think he ended up going to prison, and very, very sad story.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's going on in this episode? The Lannisters,
lots going on.
The king and the Lannisters have come to Winterfell. We find out
because he wants to get his best friend,
because
Eddie.
King Bobby wants King Bobo.
Yeah, King Bob wants his friend Ed to come and replace him as
his friend Ned.
His friend, yeah, I know.
Okay,
Eddard. Right. So everybody has almost a real name, but a little bit different. Like it's Joffrey, and it's Eddard. Right. I think the only one who has like a normal name, like his name's Robert.
Yeah.
Not like Robern or something, right?
So the king wants his best friend to become the new Hand of the King because he's like, you're my best pal. You helped me take
basically their
Throne.
Childhood friends.
Yeah,
from different houses.
You helped me take
and they
the
fought
Iron
a war.
Throne. Now help me keep it. That's what he says.
Help me keep it. And in private, because the first thing they do is go off to the keep, right? And he's like, hey, I've got a lot of enemies around. So there's something he's not telling our boy Ned.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're literally the only one I could like trust. And Ned, he's too smart for his own good. And he's all like, not including your wife and her family, right?
Right.
And he's like, you're the only one I can trust. I'm like, it takes a month. Like this is a huge like world, even like on horseback. It takes a month to go from the capital to like the north. So the only person within like thousands of miles that you trust is like literally the farthest point from the capital. Looks like you didn't make a lot of friends, but I guess when you throw a coup to take out the royal family and
you do
kill
that,
the heir.
And you do that by marrying into one of the most notoriously treacherous families in the land.
Notoriously trustworthy and wealthy of the land, who, by the way, did not intervene and defend the previous monarch. In fact, opened the gates and sacked the city.
Yeah.
Which we find out like much later. No, that's a good family to marry into. Very trustworthy. Because then if you marry, then they can't kill you but we don't need to worry about that because A boar does the inside job in like the next couple episodes.
Meanwhile,
Oh, and
the
something about like Ned Stark, like she was betrothed. His sister is dead, had something to do with the last war, and Robert actually really loved her.
yeah, and I buy it watching this episode. Like he's like,
Kudos to that act. Yeah, like he's now I know why he just wanted Ned
yeah,
around, because he's like the way he talks about his wife is not the same as the way he talks about like, oh shit, what was her? We just watched it, but I can't remember her name. But like Ed's sister, who they
there's a lot
both
of names in
miss.
the show.
That's a lot of fucking name. Who they both miss and both loved. Like he seems bitter that like he dreams of killing Rhaegar every night.
Mm-hmm.
Who we find out was the person who kidnapped her
Rhaegar Lothbrok.
Reg R. Lothbrok.
Rhaegar Lothbrok.
And it's interesting watching this and being like, oh, that's Jon Snow's mom. Like his parents are like, like that. Anyways, we jump over to across the ocean, and two completely normal siblings are hanging out in like a cool villa.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them immediately gives the viewer the ick. And if he doesn't in the first 5 seconds of meeting him, you have no creep radar.
That's right.
Like at all. And again, kudos to the actor, but like actions speak louder than words. And he's like, "Oh, look at the silk. Touch it, sister. Touch it. Now touch my wiener. Oh, you naughty. Touch my wiener. Now take your clothes off and let me slap him around." He's one of those characters where you're like, oh man, I can't wait for this guy to die. And unlike other characters where you're like, oh man, I can't wait for this character to die, I think he dies in season 1. Doesn't milk your hatred like some of the characters do for many seasons.
Yeah, he gets dispatched pretty quickly.
Yeah, a crown of gold.
So they're over there. They've been taken in by someone.
A noble dude that like it's
some like rich
someone
like,
who's
nobleman.
hosting them because, and indeed she's like, why is this guy hosting us for a year? So what have we learned? Rob's been king for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because these Targaryen kids escaped.
Mm-hmm.
And he's all like, because he knows when we retake the throne, he'll have like his hospitality repaid to him tenfold. Right? We yada yada. We find out she's being sold off.
I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure about the time frame, but they've definitely been they mentioned that they've been in hiding for a year.
Or in the very, maybe more, but in the very least, he's been hosting them a year.
Yeah.
So maybe it's been more than. Good point. Maybe it's been multiple years, but they've been here a year.
Yeah, because like King Bob and
Bob
Lena
and
Headey
Ed haven't seen each other for 9 years.
They haven't seen each other for years, and King Bob and Lena Headey, Joffrey is like presumably like 12 or 13 around
and
this time.
They have never met each other's younger children. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably been a good like.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So they've been on the run for almost a decade, but they've been hosted by this guy for a year.
Yeah.
And this guy's a Game of Thrones guy. Like he's pulling strings and setting himself up for,
he's helping them out because he thinks that basically he hasn't asked for anything in return because once Blondie becomes king, then he's like, you will remember who your real friends are once you're king again, right?
And if nothing happens to it, then at least he's out room and board for a year.
Yeah.
It's a good investment,
Hmm.
is the vibe I get from that guy.
And he's arranged a meeting between Blondie, between the Wonder Twins and the Dothraki, who are
They're barbarian folk. They're horse warriors, nomads. They never stay in one place too long.
they're carnies, you see.
Well, when you put
Well,
it that way.
well, and they put on a hell of a show later on.
Oh, geez, yeah. So she's like, brother, I don't want to be sold
Less
off.
less meth though.
Less meth, more hallucinogenic, like cactus juice.
Yeah, that's right.
So the brother says, oh, dearest sister, I would let the Dothraki run a train on you with all 40,000
I
of
know
their disgusting, gross wieners.
Yeah, he's like, if it meant me becoming king again, dear sister, I would let all 40,000 of the Dothraki army bed you without a second thought, or something along those lines. It's really fucking skeevy.
So we yada yada. There's some politics. They end up going out and being host to a wedding ceremony.
Oh, and we skipped over the part where the guy who was let go at the beginning is captured in Winterfell as a deserter,
Yes.
and so
he loves his desserts.
He tells Mr. Stark that
you gotta believe me, Mr. Stark. The White Walkers are coming.
The White Walkers are coming. Tell my family I'm no coward. And he's like, well, still got to chop your head off anyway. And he's like, but the
Understood.
White Walkers.
You got to believe me. He's like, seems like he knew what was going to happen to him, but like it needed to be.
Yeah.
And there was some talk about like, oh, you could have gone to the wall.
I mean, really, that is what he should have done. He should have just gone to the wall and told his superiors.
Maybe
hey.
After the things he saw, he wanted to go to someone that might take him seriously. Because it doesn't seem like he's afraid of dying.
I mean, I guess, like, literally, like, willfully going to your death, going to an execution just to spread the message. I guess that does kind of send a statement.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, he doesn't necessarily want, but it's not like he fights it and goes, no, you have to, like, or says, hey, send me back to the wall or whatever.
He's actually pretty dignified about it.
Yeah. And they make the youngest, Bren, or not the youngest, because that's Rekon or whatever his name is. But they make Bren, who likes to climb all over the castle, but is a shit shot with the bow.
Yeah, that will come into play later on, the climbing thing.
And they make him watch the beheading because he has to face it.
Yeah.
So life is grim. And contrast to the women, because when it cuts to the girls,
Mommy Stark is like, no, don't make him watch that. And he's like, he's not going to be a boy forever. And winter is coming.
And winter is coming.
I think he actually does say, and winter is coming.
He does. Yeah.
And that's the first time we hear him say that in this episode.
And he looks out over to the wall, which is in the background for some reason. And then you hear dun, 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 dun. So we get a contrast between that and the sisters. Sansa and Arya are in cross stitching.
It looks like cross stitch. Yeah,
that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
And the instructor is like, "Oh my, Sansa, that's great! Oh, brown nosing it up, and look how beautiful your cross stitching is." And Arya's, it's funny because I actually like stopped and like looked, and hers is just like block letters, like really badly, like impatiently done. So it's quite clear that she wants to shoot a bow. She wants to. Later on, she's got like a helmet on. She's not interested in the girl stuff.
Yeah, she's not into this. Sansa, it seems to be everyone's favorite.
Mm-hmm. And as the oldest girl in the family, she's prime she's perfectly set up to become a princess.
Mm-hmm.
We find out that Rob Snow is a bastard, but like still grew up and is siblings to all the others. Like they're not like the only one that really mistreats him. Like he doesn't have Stark's name. The only one that mistreats him, you're like, who the fuck is this guy? You learn is Theon, who's a ward of theirs.
Theon Greyjoy.
Greyjoy, which I think is like as reparations, your oldest son has to like serve another house because like they lost a war or something like that.
It gets elaborated on later on.
Later.
He's kind of a piece of shit, but he's a piece of shit, but like what ends up happening to him in the show, I still felt really bad for him.
And at least the last words he hears are, "You're a good man, Theon."
Yeah.
Yeah, some shit. Being an asshole doesn't mean you deserve the shit that Theon goes through. Holy Lord.
Yeah.
I feel like anyways, let's not get to because I can just talk about Game of Thrones in general forever. What happens here is they find a dead big old dire pup, big old dire wolf mom.
Mm-hmm.
Who interestingly, because the Baratheon, the king, King Bob, his house animal is a stag.
That's right, and a dire wolf is the house animal of the Starks. There's 5 pups there. Theon suggests that they should just kill the pups, and Mr. Stark is all like, all right, let's get to it. And the youngest son there, Bryn, is like, no, but Dad, they're really cute, and indeed they are. And so Jon Snow is like, wait.
Your house sigil is the direwolf, my lord.
5 Stark children, 5 direwolves.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
And then he puts his... Eddard seems strict, but fair and loving. Like, he actually seems really cool.
And it's unfortunate what happens to him because he seems like the most like all around like good and just dude in this entire show.
Which, as the series sets up, that will get you killed first.
That will get you killed first.
Probably would have been the best king.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
I like his relationship with,
and partially because
Catelyn.
he wouldn't want it.
Yeah. As we hear a lot from Jon Snow, I don't want it coming in the future seasons when responsibility or rulership falls upon his lap.
So
leadership, I mean.
We're introduced to we keep hearing talk of the Imp, which is one of the Lannister. Yeah. So they're
much to my
one of the
surprise,
Lannister children.
It's not like a little demon guy. It's a dwarf, like it's a little person.
Now, Peter Dinklage, I feel like they dropped the whole streaking his hair blonde thing as the show goes on because I found that
boy is he blonde in this, and I'm like, whoa,
boy does he have some blonde frosted tips going on here, and I found it very jarring because I'm like, that is not my memory of Peter Dinklage in this show at all.
Because we're used to him not only just much older, but like not the frosted tips.
So
like they're supposed to be all golden-haired siblings, right?
Yeah. So I feel like they drop the hair thing pretty quick in the show.
Mm-hmm. So the jarringly blonde Peter Dinklage.
We're introduced to
your brother anyway.
We're introduced to him because he's getting a blowjob from a sexy naked.
He's getting sloppy toppy from a very beautiful young maiden of paid delights, maiden of the flesh and coin,
a woman of the night,
a woman of the night, or in this case, the day as well, who has some assets, is playing around, and she's good at playing dumb because it's like, oh, I heard like the land, the king and the queen's family is like here. And it's like, oh yes, and oh the so handsome Jamie is there, and like maybe his like brother too.
The king player.
Yeah, the king player.
The Kingslayer. I used to watch before he actually became like a pretty big, pretty well known like actor. Flula Borg used to have a YouTube show called What the Flula, where he would just very kind of do what we do, honestly. But he would give like really like dumb, like simplified and misunderstood like recaps of popular shows. And one of them
better than what we do.
And one of them was he was doing Game of Thrones for a while. When you hear me say sometimes I'm like Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Okay, that's what that's from.
That's what that's from. But he always called Jaime Lannister the king player.
And indeed, he's very charismatic. Has a face off with Nettie Boy, who's like, oh, when you're down there as Hand of the King, you will have to participate in one of the tournaments, won't you? And I liked how Eddard kind of like replies, and he's like, oh, I don't do tournaments. It's just like, what? Why not? Afraid you're getting too old? And he's like, it's because I don't want my enemies to know how I fight.
Yeah.
Jamie's like, oh. So we get a lot of pomp.
Because when I go to kill a man for real, I don't want him to know how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's basically something like that.
Something
and Jamie's like,
lines,
ooh. We find out Jamie is indeed a great warrior, but like has the continuous ongoing desire to prove himself, which is detrimental.
Yeah. He ends up interrupting Tyrion Lannister, the imp. He ends up interrupting him and the lady of the
just when he was about to get some cowgirl action. And he's like, brother, what are you doing? I've just inserted the tip and you walk right in here. There's a reason that whorehouses have closed doors. And Jamie, acting like he's seen this 10,000 times in his life, does not skip a beat. And he's like, hurry up. You're not going to leave me entertaining the Starks by myself.
Yeah, he's like, there's a dinner tonight that I'm expected to attend. That we're expected to attend. He's like, please don't leave me alone with these people.
So there's a respect, at least between these two.
Yeah, these two, from what I remember, these two actually like had a fairly good relationship.
Mm-hmm. Not so much Cersei and Tyrion though.
No, in fact, from what I remember, they fucking hated each other.
And that love only their bond only grows as the series goes on. So he's like, oh, I don't know. I plan on taking my time. Do put aside a plate for me. So, that I'm not missing out. And he's like, I thought you'd say that. So I thought I'd expedite the process. And like 4 more like half naked like chicks like run in. Some of them very bountiful.
And he's like, make it fast, and then closes the door behind him. Which was I thought
he doesn't close the door because Tyrion yells, "Close the damn door!" And then it doesn't.
No, he closes when he leaves. He closes the door, but when he comes in, he leaves the door open. Because Tyrion is like,
I just remember. I just remember the door open and being like, man.
Because Tyrion mentions he's like, don't you know what it means when a door is closed in a whorehouse?
Yeah.
So when he closes, I thought it was cute when he actually does close it on his way out.
Oh, I see. What are we missing here? The wedding ceremony. Over in Essos. Don't even know if that's what the country's called. In the desert. You said they know how to party? The Dothraki?
They know how to party. Yeah.
So the wedding ceremony
So the wedding ceremony is they take a
has
bunch of
twerking. It starts off with twerking, and I'm like, get those whatever they use out there. These chicks know how to throw it. And then
they're on a bunch of hallucinogens.
Presumably, as I was.
And
let's see, the desert mushrooms or cactus or whatever is quite potent. And I'm
milk
like,
of
oh
the
man, they're
cacti.
basically fucking. And then they are.
And then they actually are.
It's competitive fucking.
It's competitive fucking. So yeah, like literally, like the one guy,
guys are literally pushing each other out of the way.
And so
this was hilarious.
And
man.
so they're all like high and horned up, and like the one guy like gets behind, like bends the other chick over, and they just start like going at it. And then another guy like comes and like pulls him off, and then he starts like going to town on her, and then he comes back and then throws him off, and then they start fighting. And I'm like,
and then eventually
guys,
it turned. They put their dicks away.
At this point, I'm like, all right, this is my kind of party. But then I'm like, guys, just take turns.
You already have.
Yeah, like maybe you can spit roast her. Like,
but and indeed, they want to fuck and to fight.
Yeah,
because they both very readily turn it into a brawl, and then their blades come out, and they have like sickle like blades that they use. And one of the guys gets his belly. Barely had time for his boner to go down, and intestines are like cut out everywhere.
And Creep Targaryen is like all like ugh, and the guy who's hosting him is like, I'll have you know that a Dothraki wedding, if there aren't at least 3 deaths,
it's considered rather dull.
And I'm like, I could do without the death, but otherwise, this seems like a rockin' party. This seems like a great wedding to go to.
Well, you just lose after you get punched. You don't bring it to the sword level.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, fine. I'll go get the other chick. Or you just wait. What's the guy's going to be 3 minutes anyway?
Yeah. And she's probably still going to be roaring to go afterward.
Or he's got the hallucinogenic cacti dick, and like he'll be going on all night. What happens? Then we meet Khaleesi. Khaleesi's soon to be Khaleesi's most loyal subject. Who's the guy with like the balding? Sir Jorah Mormont.
Right.
Who is exiled from his house, but has brought Daenerys gifts. He doesn't approach Khal Drogo.
We don't see him much in this episode, but he gives one of the best performances in this show. Like, he's one of my favorite actors in the show.
And it's fun to say Khaleesi in his voice.
Khaleesi
this. I've always loved you, Khaleesi. And she's like, I know. And he's like, time to die.
And that's why out there are thousands of Gen Alpha children named Khaleesi.
You know what? Wait for a series to finish.
Yeah.
Before you name your kid. Are there actually thousands?
Oh,
I was hoping it'd be like, like there's an unfortunate dozen girls named Khaleesi.
Oh, it's thousands.
Or maybe like middle name, but like, oh man. 3rd grade is going to be so awkward.
At this point, I
was going to say like 1st grade. 1st grade is going to be pretty awkward coming up.
Oh no! At this point, these kids are probably like,
is it Jorah?
Around like 10.
Is it Jorah that brings? Oh God, my own mortality just flashed, and how old the Game of Thrones is just flashed in front of me.
Well, Sansa Stark, Sophie Turner, woman is 30 years old now. She is a like grown ass 30-year-old woman with 2 kids with one of the Jonas brothers.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's like seeing any of the kids from Malcolm in the Middle as adults, where you're like, "What, Dewey? You're not allowed to have a mustache. You're 10." Um, but anyways, was it Jorah Mormont that brought the eggs, or was it like the Anno, like the guy hosting them that gave them the egg? I was unclear exactly who
I think
gifted them.
I think it was Mr. Khaleesi who brought the eggs.
It was Mr. They call me Mr. Khaleesi.
Mr.
And Daenerys is
Khaleesi.
like, no, no, they don't. They call me Mr. Friend Zone. But his performance throughout the entire series is highlight.
They call me Mr. Drunken Uncle.
They call me too old. They call me Unk. They call me cooked. I don't know if that's good or bad. So,
6-7.
Yada yada.
We cooked now, Unk.
There's some, yeah, literally, but that's not until later seasons. Or when does he die? The end of season 1, 2. There's some human cooking. There's a lot of human sacrifice, actually, in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But anyways, Khal Drogo like forces himself on Daenerys by the ocean. So at least I guess there's a romantic view away from everyone else. I'm glad it's not in front of everyone.
Well, and he even bends her over, so at least while she has to endure this, she has a nice view to look at.
Gets the ocean spray up on. Yeah.
And so does he.
And so does he. She's petite, but that her petiteness is disarming because it makes her look younger than she what ought the character should be.
Okay, so I'm making jokes about her, but like about her, you see her naked quite a bit in this episode. The character, I think, canonically is supposed to be like 15. Emilia Clarke was like 20 or 21 around this time. Mm-hmm. So,
and indeed, I didn't know that because the creepy older brother is like, "You're a woman now," but I didn't know that. Anyway, she looks younger than 18. But and again, I like looked it up and I was like, okay, they're like an adult or whatever. But like against Aquaman, she particularly looks small, so it's a little. There's bad things in the show, people. We're not saying there's not bad things in the show and that they're not supposed to be bad, but there's bad things going on. And what else happens? Am I missing anything? There's a talk between the bastard and the imp.
This is actually one of the best scenes in the episode, in my opinion. So Tyrion runs into Jon Snow. Jon Snow is like...
And they're both not at the party.
They're both not at the party. Jon Snow is like upset. Tyrion like walks in and he keeps calling. He's drunk. And he's like, you must be the bastard. And he's like, you must be the imp. He's like, I may be an imp, but you're a bastard. And he's like,
and then he walks away and he's like, have I offended you, bastard?
He's like, don't call me that. He's like, well, a bastard should always know what he is. Bastard.
And he's like, no, hear me out. You should own being a bastard and wear it. Wear it as armor so that it can't hurt you.
He's like, what do you know about being a bastard? And he's like, every dwarf is a bastard in his father's eyes, which is a great line. I was making light.
He doesn't have a fucking easy time either, homie. And that's the thing. Like he leans into the buffoonery and the lack of expectation, or he's not the eldest son, right? So he's not the heir.
He leans into like being a buffoon and like a drunkard and whoring around.
Well, we find out through rumor because it's like, oh well, I hear that Tyrion stays up all night reading and drinking. So we find out just through Catelyn Stark's little comment there that he's well read.
Well, and indeed, as the show goes on, we start to find out that the man is actually a genius.
Socially,
he's quite brilliant.
Socially, at least, is quite genius, if not like well read as well. We find out that the one who is a terrible shot, the one who likes to climb around, the one who promised his mom, Bran, that he would stop climbing around the castle. And he's like, Mom, then stop putting Assassin's Creed footholds everywhere, is what I kept thinking when we were watching this. I'm like, there are footholds everywhere. Of course he's going to climb around. Like, did you see how big
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, of course he's going to Assassin's Creed.
At least have the good sense to put a big pile of hay
underneath each tower.
Underneath each tower in
specifically
each window.
The tallest point at each point of interest. And have a hawk fly by ready to go as you dive off.
As you synchronize.
That's right, as you synchronize. Well, what do we find out? Much to our shock and horror, the viewer, there is rough, hot, incestuous lovemaking going on in one of the towers.
Talk of Assassin's Creed is actually going to be relevant in one of the shows coming up that we're going to be reviewing in this programming block.
Oh yeah.
Couple of them actually.
Wouldn't you know it? There's rough doggy style hair pulling, choking, probably spitting in people's mouths, sex going on between Cersei and Jaime Lannister.
And you had said to me on Discord when you were watching the episode, you were like, homie, you guys couldn't just not
fuck?
Couldn't just not fuck on this one trip up to Winterfell? And I'm like, I mean, if Lena Headey was my sister, just saying, I might struggle there too, you know?
Yeah. And lo and behold, like Jamie's like, oh, the things I do for love. And gives him a big old shove out the tower.
Yeah, because he climbs the tower, climbs into the window, sees them, sees like just Jaime just like fucking mounting her.
Like slapping the ass and on one knee. Fistful of hair. At first, and the kid's just like, I feel like you could have just made up something. The kid's like, how old is he? A very young looking
6,
12 at
maybe?
Most.
I thought
10 at most.
I thought he was like 6
you're
or
thinking
7.
younger?
Yeah.
Okay. You could be all like, oh, like the child Miss
I think
Sauce.
10 is more like Arya's age.
Especially later on, as we see, it's like an open secret in King's Landing that they get it on. Well,
it's rumored, but the thing is right now, King Baratheon, King Bob, is still alive. So actual confirmation that they were like, that her brother was like,
right.
Because if the son of Ned Stark comes to the king and is like, hey, I just saw your wife getting like railed by her brother, he's gonna believe that because of the source, and he's just gonna be like, okay, Jaime, you're getting beheaded now. Whereas after King Bob is gone, there's less.
And then you could delegitimize the marriage and any heirs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
After King Bob is dead and Lena Headey is queen, then there's less anyone can
Queen
really
regent or whatever.
Yeah. There's less anyone can really do about the fact that she's fucking her brother.
And if you actually try to spread such hearsay, then you'll probably be thrown in the dungeon.
Such lies.
So that's kind of the gist.
That's the episode.
What happened?
We're going to take one more break, and when we come back, Cal's going to ask me the eternal question of, would I tune in again?
Who's the big guy with the muscles?
He's He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
Sky
Skeletor is his enemy.
Here's He-Man, Skeletor, and Castle Grayskull. You have to put the castle together.
You're doomed, He-Man.
Oh, yeah? Watch this action, Dad. Now I have the power.
He-Man and Skeletor each sold separately. Castle Grayskull also sold separately from the Masters of the Universe collection from Mattel.
Siege.
Yes.
You have just watched for the first time Game of Thrones, episode 1, season 1.
Winter
Would
is
you?
coming.
Season 1 is coming. Would you watch?
You know who wasn't coming, though, because he got interrupted? Jaime Lannister.
I like to think they finished what they were doing. Or maybe that gets them.
Oh, maybe.
Gets them
I could see that, actually.
Like leaning her out the window because she's into it, watching his like unmoving or twitching body.
Yeah.
Helps
Probably.
get her there. You just watched episode 1 of Game of Thrones. Would you tune in next week?
So we're going to circle back to what I was saying earlier about how I tuned in. I knew this show was coming along with Winter back in April of 2011. I tuned in live. I was there. And here's the thing. I didn't love it right out of the gate. And indeed, I actually dropped the show after this until I ended up, about a year later, meeting the woman that I would end up marrying, who, as I mentioned, was really into Game of Thrones. She got me to binge the entire first season, which was done by this point, with her. And by about midway through the first season was when I started to get on board with it.
Okay.
Now, as I was rewatching this episode yesterday for the first time in like 16
Forever.
years, 14 years, I still wasn't completely sold on it. So, if history is anything to go by, when I originally watched this, I didn't love it enough to the point that I actually did tune in again. And rewatching it again after all these years, I was still kind of about it. Based on this episode, no, I wouldn't tune in again next time. What about you?
I think I wasn't overly sold on it way back when it had come out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to look at it through a just this episode lens, but there are some things that it hadn't found its legs yet. It's like brighter lighting than they end up settling with, and but I think and it can be hard for a lot of people to be like, here's 25 characters. But the thing that you and I like about it, as it establishes, is it does have all of these characters and all of these parts moving. I think you said that's actually something you liked from Game of Thrones that's not necessarily happening in House of Dragons.
Yeah, in House of the Dragon, it tends to mostly just focus on the Targaryens of the era that it's set in, which it's interesting, but I like the fact that there's so much going on in so many different parts of Westeros in Game of Thrones.
Me too, yeah.
And
I remember
House
being really confused and not knowing who anybody was. I like it more now, so I'm going to say I would tune in next week, but it's impossible to not be interested in it more because I know about like Eddard's sister and Robb, and I know about the Targaryens, and I know about Jon Snow's real mother, and like it makes it better than if I had just watched it. Because when I had first watched it, I was like, what? Who is this? That guy's a bastard? Then who's that other guy? He's just like a soldier, like Theon. It doesn't explain who he is like later. I thought that kid was this other kid. Which one is that? And there's a lot going on.
Should have made my display name, instead of Siege Thorn Coldblood, I should have just made it Christopher Snow.
Christopher Snow. That's just your holiday name. So it sounds like it's like because I know a lot about like the lore. Like I used to
Yeah.
deep dive on the lore and watch videos about it and the bloodlines and everything. Um, it's I would say definitely tune in next week, but I'm recalling how I felt the first time I had watched it, and there
Right.
were like certain weird holes. I'm like, what? There were a bunch of bodies there. How come the snow's so clean? Oh, that. Why aren't there footprints if they all turned into zombies like the cartoon skeleton and walked away? But I was like open to it, and I kind of ended up watching it through other people always talking about it. So I'm like, well, if I don't want to get spoiled, I guess I better watch every episode.
Well, and indeed, I got to a point in terms of the lore, I got to a point where I was like, where I literally, as I was watching the show, had a wiki page, like the Song of Ice and Fire wiki page up.
Really?
And, for like characters who would pop in. So I did get into the show quite a bit down the road. But wasn't sold on the first episode back in 2011. Wasn't sold on the first episode again in 2026. So based on that, I won't be tuning in next week, but it sounds like you will.
Yeah. So there you go. You get a mixed review.
Split decision, as they used to say on Siskel and Ebert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was episode 148, the Lasercomb Podcast. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/lasercomb, LAZORCOMB. Starting at the $5 tier, you get access to our bonus Patreon exclusive show, the Cal and Siege Super Show. By the time this goes up, we will have recorded an hour-and-a-half long episode where we talked about our favorite stuff of 2025. Mostly movies, but a little bit of video games too.
Mm-hmm.
$10 tier, you get that. You get the occasional commentary track and the ability to pick a show for us to review a random episode of on this very podcast. We got some Patreon picks coming up soon, which I'm intrigued by. So if you want to get in on that, go to patreon.com/lasercomb. Join the Discord if you want to interact with us. As I mentioned earlier, it's the best way to
Game of Thrones cosplay.
It's the best way to have a direct line to Cal and Siege.
Mm-hmm. Mostly because I don't interact with other social media.
That's right. I barely do. I browse Instagram. Well, is Reddit social media? Not really. I'm on Reddit a lot.
It can be advertising for a lot, but it's not. I don't think it is.
Okay. I browse Instagram a lot still, but I rarely ever post anything.
Lurk, yes.
We will be back next week with Next in Line in peak 2010s, and we're going to be talking about the first episode of Vikings. Pretty excited to revisit that. I still haven't finished Vikings.
Me neither, man. I've got like a season or two or something left.
I'll talk about it more next week, but my relationship with Vikings is watch it for a while, fall off of it, come back to it, fall off of it again.
Make the mistake of restarting it from the beginning instead of just continuing where you were.
Well, I was doing the continuing where I was
okay.
For a little while, and then I tried restarting and then fell off, and now I don't even remember where I was in the show anymore. But maybe next week.
Remember Rollo speaking French.
The Duke of Normandy, I think is what title he ends up becoming.
Right. He invented Normandy.
He built the longship that would eventually become known as the SR2 Normandy.
That's right.
Yeah.
All thanks to that guy from the show Vikings.
That's right. We'll be back next time with that. And until then, I have been Christopher Snow, one of your hosts.
And I'm Cal Snow, your other host.
Thanks for listening. We will Cal your Drogo next time.
That sounds bad. We'll watch your whites next time. Also bad.
We will Jon your Snow next time.
Oh God.
We will Jaime your Lannister.
We'll Jaime your Lannister. Yes.
Bye-bye. So I typed them out for the state of posterity, but my top 10 movies of 2025 are as follows. Number 10, The Fantastic Four, First Steps. Number 9, Superman. Number 8, Companion. Number 7, The Order. Number 6, Sinners. Number 5, Fackham Hall. Number 4, Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. Number 3, Black Bag. Number 2, The Phoenician Scheme. And the number 1, my personal number 1 favorite movie of 2025 is Caught Stealing.